So what's going on, guys? This is Star Blast Studios coming here with a brand new figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the custom from the man Jesse Zelada, and he made me an Ultra Instinct Goku custom. I am so excited for this custom right now, so without any further ado, let's just get into the figure. So let's look at the hair. The hair on this is really unique, and I honestly really like the hair. I know people have told me that it looks really off in a lot of areas, and I can see what they mean, but I really like the way that it is because it has a different look for Ultra Instinct. It's like it still retains that whole formula with Ultra Instinct, whereas like the hair is just a lot more spiked up, and you got the silver eyes to go with it. That's how it is. I'm gonna compare it with the Demonical Fit later, but yeah. The really well painted blue right here for the actual body. I can actually just take this off and put a different head on, and it's just like it's no longer an Ultra Instinct. It's a whole different body. And that's actually the reason why I got this figure in the first place. The Ultra Instinct head is mainly a bonus, and I guess yeah. So we got so the paint on this is really well done. I actually really like the color blue that he picked with it. I think it's actually the perfect color. So, for comparison, here's the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku, and the blue is actually a little bit lighter than this one, but that's totally fine. I actually like that it's brighter because this one is just kind of too dark to begin with. And then we have this one from the Awakening Goku, and it's actually a lot brighter than this one, so I think he chose the perfect blue because it's like the best of both worlds. It's like the perfect combination between the two Gokus, and that is just really good. The paint on there is a little bit glossy. I maybe would have liked it if he did a matte finish on this thing, but it's really not that big of a deal. You got some really nice sculpting area right there on the side of the actual in the shoulder area right there. That's just done really well. I like how I asked him to do it just like that, and he did a really good job. Same right here. Here's the hole on there. You can see a little bit that the detail on there is a little bit scuffed up, but really not too bad, especially for the price that I paid. Actually, I didn't even. We'll get into how much I paid for this later. There's a little bit of scuffiness right there, but that's just due to the fact that the paint bled just a little bit. That's not that big of a deal though, because you really just it's not that bad. So to the pants, you'd think that they're actually the same as these ones, but he actually did add in his own shading, which is very, very hard to see on camera, but it's really subtle shading that he added into the pants that I feel really does a good job of making the figure pop out a lot more. So overall, I just love this custom that Jesse made. This is one of the coolest customs I think I've gotten from him. I've actually gotten, I believe, 2 other customs, and I haven't even shown those off, which is a major injustice because he does a really good job with his customs, man. So for size comparison, here's the actual figure, and him right next to him, we're going to have the Super Saiyan God Goku, and I mean it scales exactly how you would expect him to with the regular Ultra. It's the same body, so of course there's not really gonna gain any height. I'm kind of boring you out with this, so if you have the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku and you've seen the height of it and how it's scaled with other figures, it's basically the same thing. So let's get into the things that I really love to do with these kinds of customs, and that is some awesome head swapping. So for starters, here he is with the standard base form head that comes on the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku, and yeah, it is exactly how you'd expect it to look. I love just how the major head swap, it makes it look like Tournament of Power Goku, which it actually is. And I actually didn't really go over the belt. He did go and like sculpt all that stuff around the belt. It does, this part right here kind of did crack off a little bit from the paints, which because it was like right there when I moved the torso around right there, it actually did crack, but it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, it's all kind of ripped up anyway, so it kind of helps out with the detail, if anything. So yeah, next head we're gonna go over is, here it is with the Super Saiyan head, and this is just one of the reasons why I felt getting this kind of body was so important, because this is the exact clothing that Goku wore when he first turned Super Saiyan. So this is literally exactly how it is. It wasn't with this clothing, with the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku that Goku first transformed into Super Saiyan. It was this clothing. So I'm actually surprised we don't have an official battle damage Goku or anything like that. That's more like this. I feel like the Awakening Goku, as a matter of fact, should have come with this kind of gi, but you know, it didn't. So it is what it is. Loving this custom so far. Here it is with the Super Saiyan Godhead. And having him just like this, it was just like how when he fought Kale and Caulifla in the Tournament of Power, and especially now with the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, as he was like transforming and like charging up to turn Super Saiyan Blue, you just have to have a Super Saiyan God Goku like in this body. Even though the body is like a little bit bulkier than how he actually is when he turns Super Saiyan God, I can honestly care less for some kind of a detail like that. That'd mean getting a whole nother custom body, and I ain't doing that with this. Even if that's just how it is if I decided to pose this body with the Super Saiyan God Goku head. But man, we gotta get into the next one, because the next head swap is actually awesome. Here it is from Demonical Fit. The Demonical hit on this blue shirted Goku really just looks the best on this custom than it does on any other Goku body, in my opinion. This just, oh man, I'm a huge geek. I'm a huge fan of this whole thing. Goku in the Super Saiyan Blue with just the blue shirt. That is so cool. I bet you guys didn't expect this next head swap. And here's Gohan on this body, and actually it doesn't even fit that well. It's actually fairly loose, and I know we've never actually seen Gohan battle damage like this. But I mean, it still really works, and I think this entire thing with Gohan in the blue, with just the blue shirt on, looks really, really good as well. And here's some more head swapping. Here he is with the Demonical Fit Ultra Instinct Omen head, and honestly, I love the custom that Jesse made, but I'm just having a hard time figuring out which one I prefer more. I know some people will say, obviously, it's Demonical Fit. Some people will say that it's Jesse's custom. I don't know. I really like both of them. So here they are side by side, and I'll leave a poll right over here so that you guys can tell me which head that you think is better. Now that I actually think about it, I didn't really get too much into the detail of this head. So it's like in the back, it is actually sculpted, like hand sculpted like that, so that the hair does go out naturally. So you have that thing where Goku turns around and the hair is like that in the poster. But you know, towards the front, it does look a little bit off with like those spikes. So you guys tell me which head you feel is better. But yeah, I still really like it with this Demonical Fit Goku head on this thing. This looks really good in my opinion. So now here's probably my favorite one. The Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku head just looks so good on this thing, man. It looks exactly how Goku did when he battled Jiren in the Tournament of Power in the manga. And man, I feel like the blue shirt, him in the blue shirt, just actually looks better than him being totally shirtless. Which, yeah, man, I love this thing. This just looks absolutely amazing. Especially if you like the manga, then this is probably something that you would do as well. Like have it posed with Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku fighting the Dragon Stars Jiren, or S.H.Figuarts one, whenever that gets released. So let's continue on with the rest of the review. Alright, so before we get into the articulation, we'll be taking a quick look at the faces, and for the regular stern face, as you've already seen, he painted the eyes really well on this thing. It is a little bit off, but you know, not that big of a deal. I feel like it's done really well. For the teeth-graded face, you do see that the eye on the right side is a tiny bit off, but I think he hit the spot really well, as best as he could. It's not that big of a deal. And you know, you got the screaming face. I think he nailed almost perfectly. No. I give that a 10 out of 10. Really good painting with the eyes right there. And like, eyes are really hard to do when you're customizing figures, and I think he did a fantastic job on it. All right, now for the articulation section. It is practically the same as the the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku. With one exception, and that is really the only thing is like the swivel right here. It is actually somewhat the same, but it is a little bit more hindered because the belt is a little bit tight, but overall it is essentially exactly the same as the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku. So there is actually one more thing I'd like to go over, and it's specifically about this hair in general. There is one more usage you have with this thing. So, if you were the kind of guy who was to get this custom, if for some reason you don't really like the Ultra Instinct Goku hair that comes on this, you still have that option of going and using this as a mid power-up pose, as Goku is turning into Super Saiyan, and that's one of the things that I really find useful with this hair. It's like perfect for that kind of thing, for Goku midway turning into Super Saiyan. And then there's another really cool thing that I think is actually the best way that you can use this Goku hair without doing the Ultra Instinct type thing. And you know what? The best place I feel like you can use this hair is on the Kaioken Goku body from Demonical Fit. And man, this just, with the hair going all spiked up and posed around like this, I think this actually works way better as a Kaioken hair than Ultra Instinct. I know it was meant for Ultra Instinct, but this looks like it was meant for Kaioken. I'm probably gonna be using this hair like with the Kaioken Goku when posed on my shelf, and then just use the Demonical Fit one on the other body. But man, I just think this looks spectacular. And there's actually a couple more things I want to try out and show you guys with this head before we end off the review. Someone on my Instagram actually asked me how the Demonical Fit faces look on this, and you know, this is the kind of look you're going for. It is a little bit of a tough fit to go onto this thing, but essentially this is what you're looking at with the Demonical Fit face on this head. I think it looks a little bit off. Some people might love this. I'm not quite so sure how I feel about this quite yet, but that's essentially what you got with when you're using the Demonical Fit face on this custom head. And, you know, let's actually swap it around, you know, use those same rays on Earth on the Demonical Fit head. So here's the custom face with the actual Demonical Fit Omen head, and I'm not quite sure how to feel about this one either. I think the actual, maybe it's because I'm so used to the Demonical Fit face on this one, but I think, I feel like something is a little bit off. I'm not quite sure what it is, because it actually does fix the problem with the regular Demonical Fit face having too big of a forehead on the actual Demonical Fit head. So tell me what you guys think about this thing in the comment sections down below. And one more thing, this is absolutely the last thing before we end off this review. I want to say a special thank you to Jesse. Jesse, you are the freaking man for doing this. So let me tell you the story. I initially ordered this custom before the time that the Demonical Fit heads came out, and I wanted to have that I wanted to have this body so that I can review it with that head on there. But the thing is with Jesse is he stopped doing customs for a little bit because he was handling a kind of personal thing in his life, and you know, it kind of made him not be able to go and finish this custom. And I initially paid $60 for this thing. The Ultra Instinct head that he gave me was really a bonus. The only thing that I actually bought was the body itself. But he wins because it took so long, and I've never ever seen any other customizer do this. I've never heard of anyone do this, in fact. He went and he refunded the $60 and gave me this custom entirely for free, and only because it took so long to do that, which, if you ask me, I think that's more reason to still have the custom charge. But no, he knew how long I was waiting on that end, and I guess his way of making it up for that was just giving me a refund. And honestly, that was one of the kindest things I've ever seen. He is such a wholesome guy. He's a really good customizer, gives you great customs for a really good price, and I think you guys should be doing that. He's not quite doing a lot of customs right now. I believe he's going to be customizing again back in April. I'm not so sure, but you guys absolutely need to go onto Instagram and type in Zelada Customs and have him do a commission for you, because he gives you really good prices. He gives you customs that are very well done, and you just gotta have him do it, man. I mean it when I say it. He's probably the best customizer for anyone in the community that isn't able to go and spend $100 to $200 to $300 even for some of these customs that you see online. So I definitely recommend you guys go and check him out. Anyway, guys, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it is Starblast_studio, so do check me out over there. I post a lot of stuff on there before you even see it on my YouTube channel. If you want to interact with me, talk with me, do all that kind of stuff. My Twitter is at @star_blast32. So check me out over there. I do like it when I have some interaction in the community with people interacting with my tweets. And I'm sorry that I'm talking for so long, but really had to get out this message. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the figure review. And if you do love this channel, man, if you do like the review, go ahead and do what you do to the videos that you like. Anyway, guys, this has been Star Blast Studios, and I'll see you guys in the comments section. Until then.